There we go. There's the audio. Hey everyone, happy Valentine's Day. If you're new around here, my name is Becca, and I normally don't do live streams in the middle of the week. I usually do my live streams on Friday night, but I have got a special thing that I want to show everybody. So I've got the Cupid box from 2023, and now I know season has passed. I had planned to do an unboxing on a live stream and sew the project that's in the Cupid box a couple of weeks ago, but if you guys have been around the channel for a minute, you know that on the Friday before my birthday, I had some out of town guests that surprised me at home, and so it kind of threw my schedule out of whack a little bit. I could have saved this for another Friday night, but I thought doing this after Valentine's Day was a little odd, and I certainly didn't have time to do it before Valentine's Day, so I thought, why not do it on Valentine's Day? Valentine's Day is a fun thing that we celebrate in our home, but it's literally just kind of like, I love you, I love you, okay, go on about your day. We don't do anything big and special, and a lot of that is because my husband's birthday actually falls on the 13th, and my birthday falls on the 4th, and so we prioritize celebrating each other's birthdays, and then Valentine's Day is just a day where Jason honestly gets me flowers, a little bit of candy, and does the same thing for Zoe. So we don't have any plans tonight, and I thought I would take the opportunity, since I did not have a commute home tonight, I got to work from home today, I would take the opportunity to just do a live stream on a Tuesday night. So I'm glad you're here. Before we jump into this, I don't know. I don't think there's anything. I think we're just going to jump into it. I'm going to show you the contents that are inside of the Cupid 2023 box. I will say, believe it is completely sold out, so you can't get this, unfortunately. But the Sew Sampler box does have a swap group on Facebook, and if you hop over there, you can maybe sometimes buy boxes that people have gotten and decided that they don't want. I know several people that have actually gotten their Cupid box that way. I'm going to show you all the items that were inside the box, and then I'm actually going to pull out the project and I'm going to sew it. My goal is to be off of this live stream well before 8 o'clock. So if you're looking for someplace to go after that, So Yeah does do a new stash on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time over on their channel, and you can hop over, pick up some fabric, or just window shop, whatever works for you. Let's pull out the box. So this is the 2023 Cupid box. I'm just going to move my keyboard out of the way. And here we go. This is what's inside. So when I pop it open, da, 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 you have your card that says, "You're pulling my heartstrings, Cupid box 2023." And then on the back side of this card, there is a coupon code for a free magnetic needle case with a $25 purchase. And I'm not showing you the back side of this because the coupon code is there, and that is only valid for people that have actually bought the box. So I don't want to give that away. And then this is your sneak peek. Yeah, you got batting. So inside of this box, there are a number of goodies. I'm going to pull everything out. I'm going to show you the items one at a time. Da, 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 da. Let me just set this cute little red box out of the way. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is this pin cushion slap band. This is magnetic, and the idea here is just like those old slap bracelets. You slap it on something, it curls up, you wear it as a bracelet, and then this tin is magnetic, which means, of course, I put my pins somewhere. Ah, there they are. I don't know why I put them on the shelf behind me, but I did. And it, of course, was the one time that I needed them. So the pin, this little heart is magnetic. And so you can see, you can put your pins right on there. This becomes really handy if you just want to wear it and throw your pins at it as you're working. And it is a big enough surface, I'll show you that again, that you can put your pins on there and they're not going to poke out of the other end. They should stay in there pretty nice. So that's the first notion that we got in the box. The second notion that we've got is a large spool of Aurifil thread. This is color number 2425, and that is a really big spool of thread. One of these will last me quite a while. I can get through several projects with this. Of course, I don't do the quilting on my machine, but I do all of the piecing and the binding, and this lasts me for a long time. So I will put this on my thread rack with my other threads. We have two more items before I show you the project. This is another notion that we've gotten, and this is, let's see if we could, there we go. It is the Featherweight Shop. It's a Featherweight letter opener. And apparently letter openers this month are a theme because we got one in the Rebs Fab Stash box. You can check out that unboxing. I posted it yesterday if you're curious. This one's really cute. It looks just like a little featherweight. So super, super cute. And I think for February, that is appropriate because February is a month to send and receive those Valentine's cards. So that'll help you open up your mail. Our pattern this month is called, our pattern for this special box this year is called Heartstrings. And it's going to use some 2.5-inch strips, some background fabric, and then your binding to make a quilt that will measure 32.5 inches by 44.5 inches. And if you can't see, we'll pull that in so it's a little bit closer, easy to focus. Basically, they're hearts that are made out of strip sets, so that's really kind of cute. What you're really going to do is take some 2.5-inch strips, make your strip sets, and then you're going to snowball the corners on those strip sets to turn those into hearts. So you figure that out, but I'm not going to show you the inside of the pattern because I don't want to give that away. The project that I feel like we should be doing from the box, you could use the fabric that you got to make the pattern, of course. We've got a set of 20 pieces of the 2.5-inch by width of fabric strips for XOXO by Heather Lee Chan, I guess. I had to stop and think about that name for a minute because I was reading it upside down, but we've got 20 2.5-inch strips by width of fabric that are all Valentine's themed, and you could use these to put together that project, or you could use the batting that we got for it's the Quilt As You Go for 2.5-inch strips for mug rug mats, and that's what I'm going to be working on tonight. I'm not going to make the quilt top. I'm going to make some strip mug rugs. That's everything that's in the box. So like I've shown you everything that I got, and now I'm just going to start sewing and hanging out with you guys. But so that you have a little bit more. Oh, I love your PJ bottoms. Thank you. We're just going to turn it on to the main camera view. And then as I'm working through the project tonight, if I need to give you an overhead shot, we'll go to that other camera. But this one, I feel like you can see what I'm working on enough. And you can see me. So this is what we'll deal with tonight. This batting is a pretty big piece. There are 3 sections in here that we can use to make our mug rugs. You can see them here. And so I'm going to show you how to use this batting tonight. The first thing that I'm going to do is grab a ruler and a rotary cutter, and I'm going to roughly cut out these 3 sections because we're going to do Quilt As You Go. And I don't want all 3 of them together while I'm doing that. So I'm going to do this. And then I am actually going to go into my stash and grab some fabric that needs to be the backing so that as I'm putting all this together, it'll be nice and tidy. Ooh, my nose itches. It is a Quilt As You Go project based on the pre-marked batting. Yes, that is correct. Quilt As You Go. Or Quilt As I Go. Ha ha ha. All right, so let's see. I know I'm going to make all 3 of these because this is going to actually be really easy. And you know what? This is kind of like color by number. I'm really excited about this. I don't even know, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I want to use the Valentine's Day strips because I could use these for a project. I think I'm going to use some other fabrics, maybe some scraps. Hi.
Are you recording?
No, I'm on a live stream. He said, oh, that's right, and then shut the door.
I hope you don't need your trash.
Well, I will, but you can come in. It's fine. I don't care. It's not that serious. Here. Hubby's coming to do trash duty. Tuesday night is trash in our home. Trash night in our home. Sorry. We got trash in our home. I'm making some mug rugs, babe.
Okay.
He said, whatever.
Where's the big trash can?
Over there, underneath the thimbles. I know, I moved things. I'm so sorry. So I have got all of these lovely scraps from the Dusk to Dawn Batiks by Monique Jacobs. And I'm going to use these tonight because I'm in love with this fabric. I am using it to put together the Atomic Starburst pattern by Violet Craft. Here, babe, this goes in the trash too, please. Thank you. But I've got so much of it left over and I don't want this to go back on my shelf. I just want to keep using it. So that's what I'm going to use tonight. What I need to do is I'm going to roughly cut these out. I said that already, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to cut out about a 1/2 inch bigger, maybe even a full inch bigger. Let's see what the instructions say before I do anything. Oh no, it just tells me about what that is. Okay. Instructions. Cut printed batting mugs apart, leaving a 1/4 inch margin on all 4 sides. So we'll do that. Oh, look. And let me show you this, because if you're going to use this, or maybe you've seen it and you've not bought it, this would be a great demo for you. So I'm going to go to the overhead camera. When you're looking at your mat, you have all of your sections laid out here, but then you have these crosshairs. If you put your ruler over it, this extends exactly a 1/4 inch. So that'll help you with your cutting. I'm just going to lay the 1/4 inch marking on that blue line, and I'm going to cut through, just like that. And then, hello, everybody, he's gone. For anybody that said happy birthday to Jason, he's gone. He's gone. I am lining up. This is interesting. It's a little out of whack. So what I'm seeing is when I put my 1/4 inch on this line over here, this line is a little bit crooked, and batting can be a little weird that way. So I'm just taking my fingernails and scratching it so that it's square. Just making sure it's, there we go. And I'm gonna cut through this, and then I'm gonna turn it around and cut over here. I'm gonna do this to all 3 of them because I feel like I'm only attaching a few pieces of fabric, and this is gonna go really, really quickly. Oh, Diana said, my husband gave me a mystery box from our local quilt shop. 6 half-yard cuts of batik. Ooh, that's an awesome Valentine's Day gift. All right, these are trash. My husband took my trash can, so we'll set them over here for him to get later. There's one. We're going to do that to the other 2 pieces just so everything is lined up and ready to go. If you are curious what this batting is, it is the June Taylor batting, and I'll put that right here so you guys can kind of see what the packaging looked like. Over there is the June Taylor Quilt As You Go 2.5 inch strip mug rug mat. I've seen this in the store before. I've been tempted to pick it up and I didn't, but now we're gonna get to see what it's really like. So I'm really excited to have some dusk to dawn mug rugs, if you will. And the nice thing about this is, as I'm taking my seam, and you'll see, as I'm taking my seams to piece this together, I am quilting it at the same time. So when it's all done, all I'll have left to do is bind it. And I think there's instructions in there for how to do self-binding. So we'll see if maybe we can even figure that out too. Sue said, I have to tell you, it's so great to come home and see your smiling face. The dogs kicked my rear today. Thank you for being so positive. Aw, Sue, you're so kind. It is so good to be at home and see your smiling face. Well, at least your name in the chat. That'll work for me. It'd be great if I had the ability to just do this full time, but I love my 9-to-5 job and I'm not giving that up anytime soon. So gotta wait for retirement to do that. All right, after this, we're gonna be all set here. Okay. This is all of my scrap batting. I could keep that if I really felt the need to, or I can throw it away, which is honestly what I'm probably going to do. So don't judge me. All right, I'm going to follow the instructions to make sure I'm not demonstrating this incorrectly. So it says to cut all this out, leaving a 1/4 inch around all 4 sides. And then we want to attach the wrong side. Oops. let me just turn off my, let's just, I don't need people texting me while I'm on a live stream. I did not set my focus. At least, if the, there's an easier way. There, I'll just mute the computer. So that'll work. All right, so it wants us to attach the wrong side of the batting to the wrong side of your backing fabric. And you can baste that with your favorite basting method. Because these are such a small piece, I'm not going to baste with starch or spray or anything. I'm just going to hold it and go. And it doesn't say how big the backing should be. However, it does say for the self-binding, if you want to self-bind, you need to trim the backing to 1 inch wider than batting on all 4 sides. And I do want to try that. So maybe we'll see. We'll see where we get. So I think what I'm going to do for right now is just grab some fabric for the back of these little mats. I'm going to probably choose a different one for each one. And because it's Valentine's Day, let's pull a pink one. That one will be fun. In fact, maybe all 3 of them will be pink on the back because we're doing that on Valentine's Day, or at least coral-y. We'll do that and that. And do I have another pink one in here? Maybe, I think so, right? Well, that's pink and purple. I think this one might work. We could do this one. Oh, that's so pretty. Actually, let's do that. Let's do all of the, oh, so pretty. I can't decide. It's too hard to decide. It's all so pretty. We're going to do this one. How many can I get out of that? I've got, I don't know. Okay, it doesn't need to be that difficult. Does anybody else ever have that problem when it's time to pick out your fabric? You're like, I don't know what to choose. I just can't. I just can't. Okay, I can get 2 out of this cut. So I'm going to do, is that the direction I want this to go? Maybe I don't end up self-binding because these are clouds and I don't want the cloud. This is directional, I feel like. Okay, this is way too complicated. We're going to set this one aside. We're just going to set it aside. If it's too complicated for a live stream, we're going to grab an all over print and we're just going to go with my original plan. Those 3, bam, just like that. Oh, Judy says she only has a month to go before she retires. Awesome, Judy. So we're going to go with the easiest one first. I feel like the easiest one is this one. The other 2 are going to be easy as well, but there's just more pieces of fabric to it. So I'm going to demonstrate with this one. Mary said, "You're killing me. Just pick one. They're all gorgeous." Well, I did. How about that? How about that? But I need to leave a good bit extra so that I can do the quilt as you go method. Or I'm sorry, the self-binding method. So I'm going to grab my ruler, my rotary cutter, and I'm going to make sure that I've got at least 1 inch around all the sides, and I do. It's really more like 1.5 inches, but I'm going to cut this side at 2 inches. So I've got my backing laid down, and on top of the backing is my batting piece. And then I'm just going to grab some strips and start sewing them. But we're going to go, this is a color by number type of setup. So we're going to go and start with our number 1 and then add 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Watch how this works. Somebody's asking in the chat, I love that collection. What was the name of it again? This is the Dusk to Dawn Batik bundle by Monique Jacobs. It was released a year ago. It is now out of print, but you might be able to find it on places like Etsy if you are looking. Okay. We're going to grab some pieces here. So these are scrap pieces that I have from the project that I was working on. So I'm going to use these first. I think I'm going to put this one, I'm going to put this purple one here. So the way we do this is we're going to lay it, I'm using batik, so there's not really a right side or a wrong side, but I'm going to lay the wrong side down because we're going to quilt this as we put it together. And I'm going to put that on piece number 1. Okay, let's see. How are we? Hold on.
Why is it not a wrong side?
Because you can see the fabric design on both sides. There technically is a wrong side, but we won't get into that today.
Oh, sorry, I'm not smart enough to understand that.
Hmm. Okay. We're going to cut this piece to 2.5 inches wide. The reason we're doing that is because we need it to go around all 4 sides of that line. And what I was starting to say, let me just see, what does this measure at? What I was starting to say with this first piece is, it's 5, so I need 2.5 inches by 5. What I was starting to say is I'm not going to be able to see the line while I'm piecing it, which is odd. But it honestly doesn't matter where I stitch it. I just realized that it doesn't matter. I can put it wherever I want. I'm going to make this bigger than it needs to be because I can, no, I'm not either. This is not foundation paper piecing. And that's the struggle. This is reminding me of foundation paper piecing. So I'm like, oh, I got to do it this way. No, actually you don't. So, okay. I measured how big this piece needed to be and included a 1/4 inch seam all the way around. So it is 2.5 inches by 5 inches. So I'm going to set this on here just like this. And the first, that's not right. Let me read again. Welcome to tonight's live stream where I don't understand. Oh, I do understand. Place fabric piece 1 right side up on batting section marked 1. Align the edges. Printed lines are placement lines, not sewing lines. Pin lightly or glue to hold in place. Well, sometimes it's good when we stop and read directions. So what we need to do, glad I read, is measure the piece that we are going to fill in. What section are we going to color in? And when I do that, this first piece, piece number 1, measures 2.5 inches by 4.5 inches. So I'm going to cut my first piece at 2.5 inches by 4.5 inches. That makes sense. It's all clicking now. Now we're cooking with Crisco. Still don't have my trash can. And then we're going to put piece number 1 inside of square rectangle number 1. Now let me just read to make sure I know what I'm doing. Hello, Zandra. Place piece number 2 right sides together with piece 1 and align with the printed line on the batting. So through all layers, piece 1 and 2, batting and backing with a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance from the printed line. Okay, so now I just need to pick my second piece that I want to lay down. I'm going to grab some of this blue. I know that those rectangles are 2.5 inches by 4.5 inches, so I'm going to cut that out. 2.5 inches by 4.5 inches. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Now I'm going to cut this away. You're killing me. Just pick one. They're all gorgeous. That was Mary's voice in my head. We're going to put these right sides together, just like that. And then I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch away from that raw edge. I don't need any sort of guide. This is going to go through my batting, my backing, and my piecing all at the same time. I'm using a 2.0 stitch length. I'm just smoothing it out with my hands as I go. And now I'm going to take my fingers and roll that back, and look, it's secured to the batting and the backing, and I'm going to rinse, lather, and repeat for these other sections. So that's there. Now I'm going to pick out another piece that I want to lay down. 2.5 inches by 4.5 inches. Remember, I really like this one. This one's really pretty. So I'm just going to cut out the piece that I need. I feel like a different ruler is going to help me out a bit here. I'm going to grab my 4.5 inch ruler because I can get some better cuts out without dealing with a big ruler. The lines should be placement lines, not stitching lines. That's right. I am stitching a 1/4 inch away from those lines. Thank you for clarifying that. It's my first time dealing with this. Let's also turn it. Okay, here we go. Now we're gonna lay these right sides together and we're gonna stitch a 1/4 inch away from that. Just like that. Then we'll push it over, press it down with our fingers. Oh gosh, that's so pretty. And then I'm going to pick another piece to go. I've already used this one. I've used that one. I've used this one. Let's pick, if we used this, this looks like a good piece to use. I want it to be 2.5 inches this way. I'm cutting this one out roughly and then I'll square it up. Two and a half inches by 4.5 inches. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Camptown ladies sing the song. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Okay, there we go right there. And then we'll put this on just like this. There we go. And then we'll flip this over. That was a generous 1/4 inch because I've been sewing with a scant instead of a true 1/4 inch. Now I've got all 4 of these here and I'm going to put some pieces on the left and this side. Yeah, that side. I think I'm going to go with this one. That's really pretty. So let's measure how big that is because I'm going to need to cut out 3 fabrics that are this size. The first one, well, they're all going to be the same size. It is measuring 2 inches by 8.5, it looks like. Just shy of 8.5. So I'm going to cut 8.5. So I know I want this one, 2 inches by 8.5. Just going to come all the way up. And then I'll cut it down. 2 inches, is that right? It does. It looked narrower when I cut it. I've got one. I like this one. This one's pretty. I'm going to do 2 inches off of this. What do you guys think so far? I got that one. And then I'm going to do this really pretty purple. Oh my gosh, yes. And then 2 inches off of this one. This fabric is gorgeous. If we petition the printer of this fabric enough, do you think they'll bring it back out and do another print of it? That would be great. They've got to have the designs. They could run this again, right? Please. Asking for a friend. All right, let's trim these down to 8.5 inches. Mary says, I love that fabric collection. Yeah, me too. Me too. It's yummy, yummy in my tummy tummy. Well, probably not my tummy. I don't know if I want to eat it, but maybe I could. All right, 8.5 inches. I'm going to clean this up, all 3 pieces at the same time. Just like yay. By the way, I got that from Rob Appel. He used to say that all the time in his videos when he did his tutorials on man sewing. Just like yay. Okay. Now we're going to attach these. And we just got to decide how we might want to attach them. I think I'm going to put this one on the left. Nope. This one over here. I want some interest. Karen Little says, I love this project, especially with the batiks. Yes, ma'am. Flip it over. Uh-oh. Anybody see what I just did? I made a boo-boo. I made a boo-boo. I made a boo-boo. I stitched on the wrong side of that line. That's what I did. Yeah, that's not good. Now, actually, we're going to leave it. We're going to leave it. So what I should have done is I should have stitched over here. So I should have made that maybe a little bit wider. But there's nothing that's saying I have to stitch on those lines. I can totally do this as I go. So rather than trying to rip that out, I'm just going to cut another 2-inch by whatever, 8.5, I think it was. And we're just going to add it off to the edge. Worst case scenario, I can't trim the fabric to be where it needs to be for the self-binding method, but I should be good. I'm going to put this one over here. How's the back looking? So far, so good. We're just going to add another couple of strips. Worst case scenario, I square it up and bind this traditionally, which is probably what I'm going to do. I don't know that I'm going to try two new methods in the same video. That might be a bit much for me. Look at that. See? Nobody even knew. You don't have to tell them. They'll never know. How will they know? They'll never know. I'm going to grab this dark purple or green. What? Blue. Can't talk. 2 inches. Purdy. I like the thin strips too. Me too. All right, 8.5 by 2. We're going to put that on the end right there. We should only need one extra one. I actually like these better than I think the thicker ones. So the whole thing here that I'll just kind of mention is you can follow the guides, you can follow the color by number, but you can totally do this however you want to do it. So if you make a mistake, don't feel like you have to rip everything out. Just go with it. It's a design choice. Nobody's going to know because nobody's going to rip apart your mug rug and say, well, there was only supposed to be fabric here, here, and here. You didn't do the right design. And if they do, they didn't deserve your project anyway. They don't get to have it. Now, I do have some, because I didn't baste, and this is totally my fault, because I didn't baste, I don't have any basting spray, and I do everything on the long arm. So yeah, I don't baste. I don't quilt here. Because I didn't baste, I've got some fullness a little bit in the back, but it's not changing how this mug rug is going to function, so we're going to leave it. I am going to square this up and bind it the traditional method. So on all of those, a 1/4 inch away from all of these fabrics, I'm going to go ahead and just cut off the excess. But here's the thing that I'm doing. When I do that, these are big enough pieces that I can use on one of the other mug rugs. So we're just going to do this really quickly. Typically what I do when I bind is I cut right at the fabric. I don't leave that 1/4 inch overhang, but I know some people do because it allows their binding to sit a little bit better. I'm going to try leaving the 1/4 inch overhang and see if that's something that I like. And if it's not, then I can always go in and clean that up. What do you guys do in your binding? Do you leave a 1/4 inch overhang of your batting, or do you cut right at the edge of the fabric? You're welcome, Karen. She says, I have several of these June Taylor projects like this that I purchased maybe 2 years ago. I couldn't figure out how to place the pieces. Thank you for this live. Now it makes sense. You're welcome. So that's the first one. I'm going to set that aside. We're going to do another one. And this one is going to have this as the backing. I'm going to do traditional piecing or traditional binding, not the bind as you go. I got to find the batting. Did you all see my batting pieces? Where did they go? Like, seriously, where are they? They're not over there. That's the scraps. Like, come on now. Does anybody else ever experience in their room? This can't just be me. Like you're working along and you set something down. Cut to the edge, no hangover, Barbara says. Oh, I think I see them. I think I see them. I found them. They're right here. Yay. It's because I'm setting stuff over there and yeah, that's a problem. I'm going to put this in my discard pile so it doesn't get confusing. All right, so this one's going to be a little bit more intricate. Oh, that's a friendship braid. We'll save that one for last. Let's do this one next. Okay, so I'm going to cut like this. Edge of the fabric, I like a thin binding. Okay. Hi, Quilt Queen. All right, so for this, we're going to basically build a strip set that's going diagonal like this, and then we're going to put these on in either spot. I'm going to measure what my first piece needs to be, and it looks like it's going to be, surprise, 2.5 inches by 5 1/4. 5 1/4. All right, so 2.5 inches by 5 1/4. Let's get it. We'll do this in the middle, 2.5 inches by 5 1/4. 5 1/4. 2.5. 5 1/4. Quarter. I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to put that right here in the space for number 1. I'm going to measure what I need for number 2. It is 2 inches by 5 1/4. I'm going to grab this purple one because it's right here. 2 inches by 5 1/4. Karen says, I lose pieces all the time when I'm sewing, and it's usually right there, but it seems like it has gone into another dimension. Oh, I hear you. I hear you. Now, here's the thing that this is the problem that I have with this one. This one is only 2 inches, and that's exactly how big this one needs to be, but I think I needed a seam allowance. So I think I still needed that at 2.5 inches because otherwise there's no grip. So I'm going to try that because that's not what I did before. Remember, I cut the size of the box. I think the only one that I'm cutting the size of the box is fabric number 1. I think all of the other ones I'm cutting a 1/2 inch bigger or 1/2 inch wider. So let me try that and see if that works a little bit better. In my brain, that will work better. So hold on. I'm going to do 2.5 by 5 1/4, just like that first piece was. You guys let me know in the comments if you think that's going to work, because I actually do. 5 1/4. Do we need to figure in seams with our strips? I think you need to, yes. Yeah, I bet you $10 you need to. This is going to work a whole lot better, I'm telling you. But if you don't, you can totally recover. So don't worry if you didn't the first time through. I don't know why I need my iron on. We're not going to turn it on. It's going to be fine. There's my 1/4 inch. The finished size. See, that first one is 2.5 that we put in there, but yeah, yep. It's all making sense. Yep, 2.5 by 5 1/4. I need another fabric. Which one shall I choose? This one, this one. 2 1/4 by 2.5 by 5 1/4. 2.5 by 5 1/4. Brenda says, do it the same way you would if you were paper piecing. That's essentially what you're doing. Kind of, very similar, but there are some pieces in paper piecing that are just not being held here. They're not being done. Like you're not flipping and trimming. You're just stitching and going. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm going to smooth this backing out a little bit before I start putting in other pieces since I didn't baste it. And then I'm going to be really careful about pulling it back. There we go. Now I'm going to put this on right sides together, right along that line. I'm going to take my 1/4 inch over here. Barbara says, it will work. You got this, girl. I just finished 46 scrappy blocks. This is a breath of fresh air. You know what else is a breath of fresh air? That window that needs to be open because this room is ridiculously warm. Sorry, gotta do it. Look at my pajama pants. Don't care. It is hot. Woof. Get that window open. What is the temperature in here? 73? Yeah, but when you're sitting in front of the cameras, that 73 feels like 83. Get some air moving. Yes, please. All right, let's put 2 more pieces. I'm going to go with this. I already used this blue in the middle. I already used that. I did not use that one yet. I used one like this. Let's go with this one. Ooh, do I have some scraps in here? I do. That's not big enough. But it'll be big enough for the next step, I bet. Pajamas for the win, Anne-Marie says. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. 2.5 by 5 1/4. Oh, I love this fabric. So pretty. These are technically mug rugs, and I think the idea of a mug rug is that you're supposed to set like your coffee and your snack and your food and stuff on it. But I feel like with mug rugs, another really good use is a mouse pad. So if you have somebody that works in an office or on a computer, this would be a great gift for their desk. In fact, spoiler alert, one of these is going to be a mouse pad for me at work. You just need to follow the numbers, 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 5 and then 6. Hi, Melna. How are you? Barbara says, I have a question though. What do you mean by basting? What needs or should be basted? So you could, the instructions say to use your basting method of choice to baste the batting to the backing. So if you have like some 505 basting spray, you might want to lightly spray the backing fabric so that the batting attaches to it, but I'm not doing that. And I actually find if I just smooth it out with my hands, it's a small enough piece that everything's okay. I could, of course, put a safety pin throughout the batting and the backing. And Tiffany actually mentioned this before, and I find it works well. I don't know why my iron is still flashing. But if you apply heat to your backing and your quilt sandwich, I feel like it secures itself even more. I'm just smoothing it out as I go because nobody's got time to get out basting spray. And you know what? Even if they did, I ain't got any. So we're doing this the way I want. All right, let's get a piece for number 5 over here. And I think I'm going to go with this dark blue just to kind of keep with the theme of this one. Oh, you know what? No. Yeah, we'll go with that one. Honestly, because I'm using all fabric from the same collection, none of these is a wrong choice because the fabric is designed by the designer to all work together. All the colors will play off each other. That kind of takes some of the brain energy out of picking your fabrics. I just cut this the wrong size. It takes the brain power out of it because you're just putting fabrics that the designer has already said, select from this pile and you will be good. When I first started quilting, that was almost exclusively what I did because it was so difficult for me to find and understand and feel confident in the fabrics the fabric choices and the colors, that I would a lot of times vie for getting a pre-cut bundle, and I would just work with that. My mom would always say, "You're so good at making the fabrics work together." And I would just say, "Thank you." Thank you. But yeah, that's a little tip. If you have a hard time picking fabrics that work well together, if you buy a bundle from a designer, they're all going to look good. They've already certified it for you. Lulu says it's snowing like crazy in Wyoming, so no opening windows here today. Karina says hello, 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 hello. Barbara says, I love it when I get to see others make mistakes. You're welcome. I am happy to make them. All right, so now I've got all of these pieces, and I'm just going to put a little piece on the ends. And I'm going to go with the, nope, that's not a little piece. Is this a little piece? What I'm testing for is to make sure that when I flip it over, it's going to cover that whole triangle, and this one doesn't quite cover it. So we're not going to put that one there. I think this one will. So I'm just going to line it up, and I'm going to flip it over, holding back about 1/4 of an inch. And that one doesn't cover either, so that won't work. I thought I had another piece of this cloud. That I do. It's right here. This one will work. Flip it over. Yep. And then I'm going to put this cloud on this corner. Line it up. Stitch it down. And flip it over. Oh, so pretty. So pretty that I think I'm not going to do it on the other side. And oh, I can't put that one because I just put that one. Oh, I don't want to do this because I've already got that in the row. This is on the other side. We'll just put this here. It's fine. It's totally fine. We're going to flip that over. We're going to use this one right here. Sherry said, it made it to 70 degrees today here in South Carolina, which is an absolutely gorgeous day. Natalie says, I like how Fat Quarter Shop has commercials on YouTube. Like, I need more enabling. All right, so now I'm going to work on putting a strip here and here. And you know, I think I'm going to start bringing out some of these yellows and oranges. So I'm going to grab this one for one side and this one for the other. So I need to add my 1/2 inch seam allowance. The only piece I'm not doing that to is the piece that's going to cover square number 1. So I'm just going to measure this really quick. It should be 2.5 inches. Yep, we need 2.5 inches because this is made for 2.5 inch strips. So that makes total sense to my brain. I'm going to cut a 2.5 inch piece off of the end of this. I'm going to use this for one side, and I'm going to use 2.5 pieces of this other one that's sitting on the sidelines here for the other side. It's going to brighten it up. Oh, so pretty. Oh, I'm not even going to trim this down because it's going to trim. I'm going to trim it off when I square this up. So we're just going to let it hang off. It's totally fine. Totally fine. Oh, so pretty. All right. There we go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So pretty. I just can't. Okay, let me get this piece for the other side. Maybe we'll get a piece with some good pink in it. Oh, I don't know which one I'm going to want at my desk. That's going to be hard to figure out. There's 3 to choose from. My goodness. Whoopsies. There we go. We're going to definitely make sure that that pink comes into play right here. I'm going to line that up. I like that pink. It looks like a sunrise or a sunset to me. Line everything up. What stitch length are you using? 2.0. Hi, Lisa. Happy Valentine's Day. This is such an easy, mind-free project, and it's going to turn out so great. Oh, my gosh. All right, we've used these in this one. How should we finish it out? I like this on the side. I want to use some fabrics. Oh, let's just do this. Let's just do the blue on either side. So I'm going to cut a 2.5-inch strip right off of this, right here, because I want the clouds to go that way. So we're going to go here. And I'm going to cut it in half. It's going to go in my discard pile. And then I'm going to lay one side on this side. And we're going to stitch it just like this. Like this. Blasphemy. The machine came unthreaded. Okay, we're going to use Tracy's trick. You guys, if you haven't seen Tracy's video, she has posted a video that teaches you how to, like, the details. She has a flip. I can't explain it. It's a flip. It's a flip thing. I don't know. I can't explain it. Go watch her video. But I can now use my threader on my Juki. I won't say 100%, but she said 99.999%. And once I figured out what she was doing, I will say I get it. 99.99999% now. Go watch her video. There we go. Flip that. Oh no! Oh shoot! I thought I attached the other strip to the back. Oh look, I got that little piece right here. Oh, so sad. You know how we fix that? Just like this. We're just going to do that. And I'm just going to do like this. We're going to put one other stitch in it. Why not? They'll never know. How will they know? They'll never know. I'll never tell if you don't. So now I'm going to flip it over. Oh, look! Perfect! If you tell, we're going to have words. Oh, shoot. Okay. Oh, I did the same thing over here. Guess what? If you tell, you're not my friend. I'm going to fix it over here too. Don't tell on me. I won't tell on you. Don't you call the quilt police. Oh, look at that. Boom. Boom. What? Let's do another one. I've only got one more left. I'm going to put this fun pink and purple cloud on the back because Valentine's Day. We're going to do a friendship braid in this last one. And while I do this, it will tell you, stay tuned for some details about a certain friendship braid that is now finished. You'll see it in the vlog on Thursday. In fact, it's in the dryer. I just washed it for the first time and I am stinking in love with how it has turned out. I cannot wait to show you guys in the vlog. Bum, 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 bum. Now this one's got a couple of creases in the back. So I am going to press the back to get the crease out. I want the back to lay nice and flat. So while my iron is heating up, I'm going to come in and I'm going to square this up. How am I going to square it up, you may ask? With a ruler and a rotary cutter. That wasn't funny to you? That's funny to me. So I am feeling for the edge of the batting and just putting my ruler up against it. Since I allowed the fabrics to hang off of the edge, I can't see it. And it does actually mean that this is a 1/4 inch bigger on each side all the way around. I didn't measure what the batting was before I did this, so I'm just going to square it up like I would a quilt. Look at that. Does anybody else get extreme satisfaction from squaring a quilt? It's kind of satisfying. Or cleaning up a FPP block. Oh. So satisfying. Hello, Kate. She says, Happy Valentine's Day. Just realized you laugh like my best friend from high school. And that was really forever ago. VR says, the quilt police won't like the things that I do. You know what? Then they're not invited to your sewing room. If they don't like what you're doing, you don't invite them. They can't come over if they don't like what you do. It's your room, your rules, right? Bum, 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 bum. I'm just trying to have a good time. All right. All of these are going to go over here. I'll decide if I'm going to keep them later. But look at that. You'll never know that I messed it up. What? Now I've got two, and I'm just going to stack them on top of each other, just like that. And now we're going to do the pressing on this one, which means I need a pressing surface since the iron is heated up. If you leave half in extra on the backing, you can flip it up at the, yes. If you leave a ½ inch extra on the backing, you can flip it up at the end for the binding. Yes, we talked about that in the beginning. You could, and the instructions actually tell you to do that. However, I have never done self-binding, and this is a new project to me as well. And I don't want to tackle two new techniques on one project. Really, mostly because I'm on a live stream. It's a little much to do that on a live stream. If I were just sewing in my sewing room, I would probably do that just to learn both techniques, but it's a bit to juggle doing a live stream, learning a technique, keeping up with the chat, and then adding in a second new technique that I have never practiced would be a little too overwhelming for me. So maybe next time I do this, I will try that. But yes, that is true. All right, we're going to start with number 1, and then we're going to build on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 8, whatever. I know I need 2½ inch strips for all of these, so I'm just going to cut a bunch of 2½ inch strips, and we're just going to go from there. I'm not even going to worry about what is the maximum length on these. I think it'll work this way. So I'm just going to cut. I'm going to open up all of my fabrics that I want to use. Hi, I'm making my mug rugs. The Cupid box is awesome. Yay, Marsha. That's awesome. I'm glad to see that you're making something with me. Bum, 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 bum. Get that over here. Hold up, hey. I'm counting the fabrics that I'm stacking because I know I need 12. Right now I've got 4 stacked up. So I'm going to cut these 4 first. I'm going to cut a little bit wider than 2½ inches just because I can't see all of the layers underneath. And then I can clean them up as I go. But this will get me started. That's 4. And now I know I've used these and I don't want to repeat them in this mug rug. And this is my last one, so I can set them aside over here. And I'm going to get 4 more. 1. Don't want to repeat any of the big pieces anyway. 2. I'm so glad you're doing this quilt as you go because I've never done this before. Thank you, Becca. You're welcome, Joyce. I'm glad that you are enjoying it. We're going to flip this around. I want the nice cut edge on the side. If you pulled a jelly roll down, this would have been a whole lot easier because you could have just pulled the fabric and went, but we like to make things difficult. So that's what we're doing. There's another, oh, that's only 3. So now I have 7. In case I forget and lose count, just tell me 7. You have 7! Okay. This is 8. This will be 9. No, too small that way. We'll do these differently. 1, 2, 3. Got some scraps over there. Do this one. That'll work. 7. This is 10. I had 7. This is 3 more. The box is sold out. Bummers! I know. I did a poor job of sharing this with you guys. I am so sorry. But I promise when Fat Quarter Shop has future boxes, I will do a much better job trying to share it with y'all. Feel like I let y'all down. Okay, we're going to go with this one on each side. I like this one. It makes me very happy. So we're going to use this one in both places. When all of this fabric is done, all of this needs to be in a lot of projects. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to pick one to start with, and I really like the gold sparkles in this one. No, I need a small one to start with. So I'm going to start with this purple because I didn't use it. Ba-bum, ba-bum. All right, to do this one, this is where things are going to get a little tricky because if you notice, we're on a diagonal. And so my normal sense would want me to lay it this way, but we're not going to do that. We're going to turn it so that it's filling the lines, just like this. Well, it's not quite wide enough. This one's perfect. We're going to turn it so that we're touching those blue lines. And then I'm going to grab a piece that I want to go in number 2. I'm going to grab this dark blue. And I'm going to lay it on here, right sides together. And I am going to stitch coming right up to this blue line. Just like you would a French braid, kind of. Or friendship braid, I think is what it's called. Right up to that blue line. I'm going to stop. I'm going to flip this over just like this. Press it down. And then I'm going to get another piece and put it in section 3. We're going to get this. Oh, I want that to be in a good big spot. So I'm going to get this blue. I'm going to lay it right here along that raw edge. And I'm going to come and stitch starting at this blue line all the way down. Then I'm going to bring it out, flip it over. Now this one is a little bit wider than what that line is, but here's how I'm going to get around it. I can see this blue line on number 6, and it's going to be okay if I'm just going to line it up so it's there. Or I could come in and trim it. I'm not going to trim it. I'm just going to line it up with the blue line. This one's going to come in just like this. I'm going to line it up that way. Right up to the line, stop. We're going to flip this over, just like that. And then see how I have these 2 raw edges that are different? When I lay this next one down, I'm just going to continue this raw edge right here. So I'm going to grab this blue one with the sparkles on it this time. I know what I didn't do right. I forgot to square all these to 2.5 inches. That's why I'm getting the overhang. So I'm going to fix that now so that all of the other ones are good. I was like, no, I'm just going to rough cut. I'm just going to rough cut. I'm like, man, these are bigger. What's happening with my seam allowance? It's me. It's totally me. Okay. These are, whoop. I'm going to make all of these an even 2.5 inches wide just so they play a little bit better with the placemat. But like I said before, there's no rules, right? If you mess this up, the only thing stopping you from this project is you don't have to follow their rules. You can lay the fabric out however works for you. And if all the pieces are not exactly the same width, it's okay. It's still going to be functional. Just like that. There we go. Now I've got some pieces that are going to work a little bit better. I'm going to recover by just making sure I'm paying a little bit closer attention to where I'm going to line these up. So this one's going to go, I'm going to peek, line it up with the blue line approximately, and just make sure that's laying nice and straight. And then I'm going to stitch along the edge of the purple. Shoop, shoop, shoop. There we go, just like this, and it'll be fine. Here we go. I'll have more bulk in my seam allowance, but I'm quilting this as I go, so I don't really care. What I could do, by the way, as I'm going is with my scissors, I could trim off the excess, but I really like doing that when it's all put together. I think that's a lot of fun. Now I'm going to grab my piece for section number 7. I'm going to put a yellow piece here. Flip it over. Gonna do this. Thought I did this piece already, but apparently not. We're gonna put this one here. Oh, I think I was going to, and then I realized I did something wrong. So we're gonna lay this down here, just like that. Stitch it away. Get it lined up with that blue line that's underneath there, just like that. Hi, Tucker. All right. I'm almost done with this last one. I'm going to put this one over here. And this one, I'm going to grab, oh no, I'm not. I'm going to do it this way. Yeah. Pew, 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 pew. Flip it over. And then the last one over here. And then I'm just going to do these 2 little corners and then square it up and everything will be good. Just like that. Now I said for the corners, I wanted to use these fun bits. So that's what I'm going to use. Close my rotary blade because I was a bad girl and didn't close it. I'll stitch this here. And then this is just a teeny little bop over here. Place that here, just like this. Okay. And there is our French braid mug rug that we have to square up. So I'm going to flip it over on the back. I'm going to square up from the back this time. I'm going to feel for where that batting is. Just like that. And then I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to get one straight side. And then I can use that straight side as a guide for my ruler for the next edge. Turn it 90 degrees. I'm going to line up one of the lines on my ruler with that straight edge that I just made. I'm going to feel for that bulk. Make sure that all of it is I'm going to be able to clean up a nice edge here. Sail all the way through. Turn it 90 degrees. Line up on my ruler. There we go. There you go. So there we have it. We have all this scrap that I'm going to have to sort through and figure out what I'm going to keep now. But I also have things that I don't even know where I set them. That's what I have. Where did the other mug rugs go? Here they are. I swear, if my head wasn't attached, I'd lose it. So this is the first one we did. That's the first one. Shoot, move it here so you can see better. This was the second one we did. And this is the third one that we did. Which one is your favorite? 1, 2, or 3? Let me know in the comments below which one's your favorite. you can message me through Facebook. Oh, sorry. I was like, I'm already your friend, Crafty Panda. Never mind. That wasn't for me. Thank you, Lentinal, is that right? Lentinal1 for subscribing. I appreciate that. Number 3. We've got 2 for number 3, 1 for number 2. 2 for number 2. Now 3, 3, 4. Oh, it's even. It's 1 for 1. 1 for 1. Well, let's pull it over a little bit and see how that works. 2, then 3. Looks like most of you like these two. So I'll hold them back here a little bit more. There. Now you can see. I don't know. I think I like this one the best. All of the above, Lucy said. So did Tiffany. D, all of the above. They're all great. They're really pretty. They're really pretty. Tiffany, if I don't end up using all of this fabric, I do think that these are going to be, anything bigger than an inch is going to have to go into a bag and be sent to you, because I just don't have the heart to throw this fabric away. But I know there's going to be scrap pieces that I just am not going to get rid of. And this is also why this is also what I was talking about earlier when I said, okay, the mug rugs are great, but if you're not a coffee drinker or a tea drinker, you don't have a use for a mug rug, which is essentially just a smaller placemat, they make really good mouse pads. So I have plans for one of these to turn them into a mouse pad for work, and I might keep another one for mouse pad for here, and maybe a third one will be a present for a special friend. So yeah, these are great. These are great. Fat Quarter Shop has the braid foundation paper and a bag making it. That's awesome. I like them out. I like them all. However, you gave a forced choice. Maybe. This one's my favorite. Which one's yours? SWT Polly has subscribed. Thank you so much for subscribing. Yellow pops out more. It does. It does. These are really pretty. I'm quite pleased with them. So I have done a project in a Sew Sampler box. How about that, guys? In less than an hour. What? This was great. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me on Valentine's Day. I'm going to end the live stream, go spend some time with the hubby and the daughter, especially now that my sewing is done. Maybe they'll come in here and we can sew together, but probably not. I might have to go spend time with them. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for tonight. If you're looking for someplace else to go, so yeah, we'll be live in just a little over an hour with a live stream new stash sale. You don't have to buy anything if your pocketbook doesn't allow it. You can just window shop. Even just watching their video helps their channel. So make sure to stop by, check out what they're doing, and if there's something that tickles your fancy and you have the budget for, you can pick it up. I think it's $10.50. It might be $11 a yard over on their new stash. It's been a minute since I've watched Tuesday night, but thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'll see you all in the vlog on Thursday, and then on the live stream Friday night, we'll be sewing the Open Gates box for February 2023. I'll see you all then.